Hello, SDW fans, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the SDW exclusive podcast. I'm Carly Cross, the SDW AI correspondent. This week, Greg and Sandy are ready to break down all the action from last week's live show, as well as tell you what to look forward to tonight on Stone Dog Wrestling Friday Night Lightning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for this channel so you don't miss an episode of the podcast or the live wrestling show. It helps us out greatly if you leave a comment letting us know how hype you are for everything going on in SDW. Special thanks to Stone Dog Entertainment Channel moderator K-Ped, and of course to Stone Dog for putting all of this together. I'll meet you guys on the other side of this deep dive into the world of Stone Dog Wrestling. Take it away, Greg and Sandy.
All right, everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. We are diving right back into the world of SDW Stone Dog Wrestling, and let me tell you, after last week's Friday Night Lightning, we got a lot to unpack before things get even crazier tonight.
Yeah, no kidding. Last week was absolutely wild, and with tonight's Friday Night Lightning, things are about to get even more intense.
So strap in, everyone, because we are about to break down all the action, all the drama, and all the surprises that went down. Starting with, of course, Doink and Outlaw Epps. These two went at it again, and I gotta say, this rivalry is getting seriously personal.
It's like they say, familiarity breeds contempt. And these two, they're way past familiar.
Remember that spiral neck breaker Epps hit Doink with? I thought Doink was done for.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. But that's the thing about Doink, right? He's like a cockroach. You just can't get rid of him.
And just when you think Epps has him beat, bam! Basket Case shows up out of nowhere.
Talk about an unexpected twist. I mean, Basket Case, formerly known as John Finch, going after Epps. Didn't see that one coming.
Neither. But it definitely worked in Doink's favor. Basket Case nails Epps with a chair shot, gets Doink the win by disqualification, and suddenly everything's flipped on its head.
It's a classic case of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, at least for now. And you know what that means, right?
Well, I know exactly what you're going to say. Tony Khan loves to stir the pot, so what does he do? Books them for round 3 tonight. And not just any match, a handicap match. Epps versus Doink Andy Basket Case.
Poor Epps. I mean, talk about adding insult to injury, right?
Seriously. But you know what else was a real shocker? Shane McMahon is out as SDW co-owner. Just like that.
Gone. It all happened so fast. 1 minute he's calling the shots, the next minute, poof, he's out. Makes you wonder what really went down there.
Right. And then like a phoenix rising from the ashes, or maybe we should say like a Khan swooping in for the win, Tony Khan steps in and takes over.
He didn't waste any time, did he? And he's already making waves. You know, for those who aren't familiar with Tony Khan's work in AEW, let me tell you, this guy is a game changer.
For real. He's not afraid to shake things up, and that's exactly what SDW needs right now, a little shakeup.
A little. I think we're way past a little at this point. This is a whole new ball game. Speaking of game changers, did you see those title matches last week? Jimmy Phoenix, our undefeated television champion, going up against Jay Lethal. The electricity in the arena was unreal.
Don't even get me started. Lethal brought his A-game, but Phoenix, he's just different. You know, he's got this aura, this presence.
You could tell Lethal was getting frustrated. He threw everything he had at Phoenix, but nothing seemed to stick.
That count-out finish, though, controversial to say the least.
Definitely left everyone wanting more. And it protected both guys. Phoenix keeps his title, but he doesn't look invincible anymore. And Lethal, well, he looks like $1 million, even in defeat.
You're right, you're right. And then there was that triple threat match. Blue Monica, Lilith Smoke, and Britt Baker all going at it for a shot at Baker's women's world title. I swear, I thought the ring was going to explode.
Unleash rules, baby. No disqualifications, no countouts, just pure mayhem. And those 3 women held nothing back.
Steel chairs, tables.
Yeah.
They even brought a stop sign into play at one point. I thought I was watching a demolition derby.
And the crowd was eating it up. They were on the edge of their seats the whole time.
As they should be. That match was off the chain. But you want to know what's crazy? It was a draw. A draw. Can you believe that?
In a triple threat match. Almost unheard of. But it definitely leaves the door open for a rematch. And you know Tony Khan's not going to let that storyline just die.
Oh, absolutely not. He's going to milk this for all it's worth. But speaking of milking things, we got to talk about Reaper. Dude's gone full-blown Undertaker.
Embrace the darkness, right? That's his whole thing now.
And that open challenge for an extreme fighting match. He was practically begging for someone to step up and get punished.
And Clark Thunder, bless his heart, he answered the call.
I'll give Thunder credit, he's got guts. But Reaper's on another level right now. The guy is straight up scary.
That poison mist, the way he moves in the ring, it's like he's possessed or something.
That's what I'm saying. And after the match, when he said he had the Undertaker's blessing,
yeah.
Chills, man, chills.
Like he's the heir to the throne of darkness or something.
Exactly. Now we're getting into some deep lore here. But hey, that's what makes SDW so much fun to watch. And I swear, for a minute there, I thought Reaper was going to challenge Stone Dog himself.
Right. Like, move over, Stone Dog. There's a new sheriff in town.
I would pay good money to see that match. But okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about Sammy Rose and Scotty Washington. Remember a few months back when Sammy first came to SDW? He was basically Scotty's biggest nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Total bully.
Now look at them. They're one of the most entertaining tag teams in SDW. I mean, who doesn't love a good redemption story?
It's classic wrestling, right? The enemies to friends storyline never gets old, and they work so well together now.
They really do. Although, I gotta say, last week's match against Warren Winters and Steven McGregor, those two are a force to be reckoned with.
No kidding. McGregor with that U.S. championship belt and Winters with his raw power, they're like a runaway train.
And speaking of trouble,
yeah.
Did you catch Cruz Diaz backstage?
Oh, you know something's up when Cruz Diaz starts whispering in corners.
Seriously. He's cloning to have dirt on Scotty Washington, something that could ruin him.
Diaz is always up to something. But Scotty, the guy's like, Mr. Squeaky Clean. It's hard to imagine him having any skeletons in his closet.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Scotty's like the heart of SDW, you know? He's the one everyone cheers for. What if Diaz is telling the truth? What if he exposes Scotty and ruins his reputation?
That's what we don't know. That's the brilliance of it. Cruz could have nothing, or he could have something huge, and we won't know until he decides to drop the bomb. It's like psychological warfare.
It's brutal, man. Speaking of brutal, Tempest. Poor guy. He's still under Alexa Bliss's spell. And it seems like Tony Khan is just throwing him to the wolves at this point.
Last week against Dizzy, I mean, Dizzy's a legend. Everyone loves Dizzy.
Yeah.
And Tempest just dismantled him.
I know. It was tough to watch. And that finishing move, the Death Star, I was watching with my nephew, and he had to cover his eyes.
It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You know it's going to be bad, but you can't look away.
And you're just left wondering, how far is Alexa Bliss going to push him?
Yeah, how far? Is there even any part of the real Stone Dog left in there anymore, or is he just gone?
Okay, so we've covered Doink and Outlaw Epps, Reaper's descent into darkness, Sammy and Scotty's tag team drama, Tempest's possession. Are you ready for the main event?
Hit me with it.
The Authority is back.
Yeah, that was the statement. Kenny Omega and Eddie Kingston back together. I don't think anyone saw that coming.
I mean, we knew Omega was coming back to SDW, but I don't think anyone expected that.
Talk about making an entrance. They just destroyed Ace Crusher and Brick Grimes like they weren't even trying.
It was a massacre. And poor Ace and Brick, they never stood a chance. But okay, ready for the craziest part?
It gets crazier.
Oh, it gets so much crazier. So, the Authority, they're standing over Ace and Brick, ready to deliver the final blow. And out of nowhere, CM Punk appears.
Get out.
I'm serious. CM Punk, back in SDW, saving Absolution.
I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. After everything that went down, after he walked out on them, after all this time, CM Punk saves Absolution. What is happening?
Right. It was like something out of a movie. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Right. Like, what does this mean for CM Punk? What does this mean for Absolution? What does this mean for Tony Khan?
So many questions. But hey, that's why we love SDW, right? It's a nonstop thrill ride. And speaking of thrill rides, let's dive into tonight's Friday Night Lightning card, because we are in for a wild one. First up, Sandman is defending his SDW Extreme Championship.
And not just any defense, a 2 out of 3 falls cage match.
Inside a steel cage. It doesn't get more hardcore than that. So Sandman, he's been on fire lately, but a cage match, anything can happen.
Yeah, the cage really changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it? No escaping, no outside interference. It's just you and your opponent trapped.
And knowing Sandman, there's going to be blood.
Oh, absolutely. But hey, that's what the fans want to see, right?
I want carnage. All right, moving on to a match that's got everyone talking. Tony Khan has demanded a little face-to-face with CM Punk.
A face-to-face, you mean?
Phase 2, Satellite.
Oh, right. CM Punk still hasn't actually shown up at the arena, has he?
Nope. He's been keeping his distance, and you got to wonder if that's part of his plan, you know? Keep Tony Khan guessing. Maintain the element of surprise.
It's like a game of chess, and CM Punk's playing 4D chess while everyone else is stuck in checkers.
Read my mind. Okay, next up, we got Lilith Smoke going one-on-one with Asuka. And listen, If Lilith wins this, she gets a shot at the tag team titles.
Lilith Smoke has been on a roll lately, but Asuka, she's a legend, a former champion.
She's a warrior. This is going to be a clash of styles, that's for sure.
You know what's interesting, though? This match could have implications beyond just the tag team titles. Think about it. Asuka's tag team partner is Alexa Bliss.
Oh, snap. You're right. The same Alexa Bliss who has Tempest wrapped around her little finger.
Exactly. So what happens if Lilith wins? Does Alexa see her as a threat? Does she try to manipulate the situation? Does she...
Okay. You're blowing my mind here. I need a minute to process this.
All right, got a little carried away.
No, you're good. I love it when you get like this. Okay, back to tonight's card. Outlaw Epps. Poor guy. He's in for a rough night.
A handicap match against both Doink and Basket Case? Yeah, he's going to need more than luck to get through that one.
He's going to need a miracle. Or maybe a new tag team partner. Okay, moving on. Britt Baker. She gets to choose her opponent for the Women's World title match at Trick or Treat.
Talk about a power move, but who's it going to be? Blue Monica? Lilith Smoke?
Don't forget about Rhea Ripley.
Right.
She has been on fire.
So many possibilities. This is going to be huge.
It's going to be epic. All right, now for a match with serious championship implications. Sammy Rose is going head-to-head with Kenny Omega. The winner gets a shot at Steven McGregor in the U.S. title.
Sammy Rose has really stepped up his game since teaming up with Scotty Washington, but Kenny Omega, that's a whole other level.
We're talking about a future Hall of Famer here.
This match is going to be a barn burner.
No doubt about it. Okay, before we get to our final match, we have to talk about Cruz Diaz and his little bombshell about Scotty Washington.
Right. Is he telling the truth? Does he really have something on Scotty? I'm dying to know.
Me too. What if Scotty's not who we think he is? What if this whole good guy image is just an act?
The anticipation is killing me. We need answers, people.
Hopefully we'll get some answers tonight. Okay, final match on the card, and it's a big one. Absolution is back in action, but they're going up against, well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Tony Khan is keeping their opponents a secret. No one knows who they're going to face.
It could be anyone. He could bring in a team from AEW or some legends or maybe even a brand new tag team that no one's ever seen before.
This is classic Tony Khan, keeping us guessing until the very last minute.
And you know what I love about it? It's got everyone talking. The rumor mill is spinning out of control.
It's brilliant.
And with that, folks, we've reached the end of another deep dive. But the action is just getting started. Make sure to tune in tonight for SDW Friday Night Lightning, starting at 10:15 p.m. Central, right after SmackDown. You can catch it on Twitch and YouTube, and trust me, you do not want to miss this. It's going to be epic.
This is going to be one for the history books.
It just might be. Until next time, Deep Divers.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the SDW Exclusive Podcast. As Greg and Sandy covered, we are live every Friday night on the Stone Dog Entertainment Twitch and YouTube channels at 10:15 p.m. Central Standard Time, right after SmackDown. And you can always catch the podcast right here on the SDE YouTube channel. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Click on a video popping up on your screen now to dive deeper into the vibrant and living world of Stone Dog Wrestling. Till next time, this is SDWA. I, correspondent Carly Cross, signing off.